Alright, today I have a previous video about me picking this tree up at a nursery, and today I'm in 9B zone in west central Florida. Unlikely any chance for frost at this point. If so, I do have a greenhouse I could put this tree into. So this is an azalea that I'm going to do the initial work on and cut it way back. It's a good time. It's putting a lot of energy into flowering and making swelling buds for flowers. So it's got a lot of energy going through it. So this is really good time to do a hard cut back. So it really should bud back very well. Initially, you saw me choose, because this has the great trunk. I don't know how well you can see that. So I'm going to clear some of this out so you can see all that. Let me lay this here. Now the first step is to cut everything off that I definitely don't want. And then you look for crossing branches, straight up, straight down, and such, and we clean the tree up. Now with an azalea, sometimes where you cut, they die back from. So wherever even though I plan on removing some of these branches entirely at the trunk, the first step is not to cut them at the trunk, but to cut them leaving a little bit of a stub. And I also, whatever growth I do leave on here, I will be removing any flowers or flower buds, so the energy doesn't go into that. It goes into making new growth. These small little things on the inside, I'm going to remove. Straight up, straight down, any dead branches. Things on the inside of a curve. And that appears dead. I'm just doing this low because I'm actually going to remove a lot of this top of this tree. Now this will be a severe prune, but you have to get the timing right so you don't kill your tree. This has been putting in new growth, a lot of energy, and like I said, into the flower buds and such. So it's a really good time to prune, and I'll be protecting it from any cold that might happen. But I looked at the 10-day forecast, and the lowest I see at night is where I live is like 49 degrees, and I have a greenhouse if I need to use it. Farther north, you would wait longer. You often hear to wait to after a tree flowers. This flower early enough, I could probably do that, but I actually want to take advantage of all the energy putting into the flowers and redirect it into growth. So I don't want it to fully flower. And we'll just have to do without enjoying the flowers this season and wait for next year to enjoy that. So all these You know, you can see these areas where there's not much change in taper, so I'm going to be cutting that severely back. If I can, I'll leave a tiny bit of growth somewhere lower, even if I might remove it later, just to give it something. But these branches here, I'm going to go to whatever lowest growth is first, and I might even cut this back to no growth. It should bud back, but for now I'm just going to wherever the lowest growth is. This is long and lanky, so I'm just gonna. These don't have any. They're dead. This has growth right here, so I can actually cut this short. Now this isn't gonna, when I'm done, isn't gonna look like a bonsai necessarily. It's gonna look like cut way back. But this is often what you have to do to start a bonsai, is take it back to its basic skeleton. You just need to know the horticulture enough to know what you can get away with. So there's some growth low on this. So I could actually, we don't need both of these. I can cut this. And this will allow a lot of light in there, a lot of area for it to bud from. Let's see, this is growth here. This is underneath the main trunk. Put this a little closer here. Later time, all these areas I cut back and leave stubs. Once it rebuds back and gets flourishes, I can cut that back further. But there's no rush. Growth. Stuff that's the same thickness for too long of a period of time there can be cut back. So we want taper to be built into this tree. Let's do it back here. This is too long. Let's, some of this I might be cutting back further. Just for now, I'm just cleaning it out, get a better look, to figure out the design of the tree. I don't want the flower bud. Alright, this is kind of an awkward trunk here. And the growth is way too high, so I'm actually going to come right in here. Cut that out there. You can see what I'm doing. We're recutting this tree back hard. This growth here, put that there. Nothing on this one. I'm gonna put that back too. Same on this. Another long one. All right. So now we have to look at it and really be sure of what we want as a front and think of the design and what I want to cut back further. I like the trunk in here too, so that could be a front, and we do have these lower branches we can build taper in and have this be the main tree. There are multiple fronts on this. This side could also be a front because of the trunk. You could even angle the tree, do something unique and different. Gonna take a little thought here. That could be a front, but the root base isn't as good, and we have it's going to have a big healing scar right along the trunk. So this is probably better if it's towards the back. So, let's see. Reposition this here. Clean up around this base a little better. Be sure about our front. kind of indecisive right now about whether this being the front or having like a double trunk with a slight slant to it, as that's the front. So for now I'm going to cut back slightly more where it works for either design, and we'll see how this tree buds back and what we can do for it. So this way or this way, we don't need this big long one back here. That would only work if this was your front, but I think because of the scar here, I mean, it could be, I mean, you could have a double trunk this way too, but the rootage isn't as nice in this way, and then you'll have the big scar here. Then, you know, often with an azalea it would kind of rot back, and could be a feature later. You never know. Sometimes you go through and make your front, and a couple years later you turn the tree around, that becomes your front. But for now, I'm going to cut this short. We'll see what it does when it buds. And some of these other ones, I'm going to cut a little shorter. I don't think we need this. Cut this. Now we'll see. Let me think. Yep, cut this here. And cut this a little shorter, because we won't be keeping most of this. Let's see. Broke. So for now, this is what we're left with. And then I'll post a video later on when it buds back and get new growth. Azaleas are very fragile to wire. And so, you know, you want to wire when it's fresh new growth. Even these, once they're woody, it wouldn't take much to snap these small branches. So we want it to get bud back close to the trunk, and then I'll cut back further, and then when that new growth grows out, that can be wired, gently wired, and placed into position, and then we'll have a good start to the bonsai. Okay? Thank you, everybody. I'll post an update probably within the next few months on this tree, and before that I most likely will make another video or two doing something else that's appropriate for the season. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.